forthcoming general elections. We assure you that your welfare and security have been taken into consideration. You will be provided briefings. In fact, they have been provided, and on how to ensure that you are safe throughout your assignment. Please, I urge you to take them seriously. Remember, you are making history and you have a future to protect.
Well, Nigeria 2015 here on Channels Television, broadcasting live, and of course we're reaching you in the UK on Sky, Channels 575. That's Channels 24 live for you, and if you're online, you can get to watch us live from any of your mobile devices. Just hit m.channelstv.com to view us live, and these are some of the images sent to us yesterday by a viewer watching us on Sky Channel 575. Well, let's now quickly go over to the Archbishop of Abuja Diocese, John Cardinal Onayeikan. Good morning, and I'm so excited to have you join us this morning.
Good morning.
Well, let's quickly talk about the election process, starting from the presidential election. And we would like you to comment on the peace accord leading up to that particular election and how the result has really panned out for you as a person.
Thank you very much. A lot has been said about this peace accord, but I believe we need to recognize that there was a beginning to the process, and for this we must give the credit to our President Jonathan, who facilitated that first accord in January, which he and other aspirants signed. The famous National Peace Committee only came in to facilitate the accord that the politicians had already signed. And the role we accepted to play was to help them to implement their accord and to make ourselves available as umpires, mediators in case of difficulties. By God's grace, it seemed that the process actually worked to a large extent. But I believe that the major factor was the Nigerian people who, en masse and generally, said no to violence, were quite sincere in their and ready for good election, and I believe they were ready to stand up to a non-violent rejection of tricks and games. And we're lucky to also have had an INEC that seemed to have a good intention in this matter, despite all challenges and hiccups. So the work of the committee should be put in this context. It is not as if the committee just woke up and started working. And we want to really thank God and thank all the politicians and the stakeholders that gave the committee the hearing.
The question then will be, how do you think this is going to trickle down to the states? Some people said at the national level, your committee was effective because you were dealing... I don't think that the Cardinal can hear me. We seem to be having some issues there, but I was a little curious.
No, he can hear you.
I think I heard about what we are doing with trickle down to the states.
Yes.
Oh, they have switched off.
Yes, by all means, go ahead, Cardinal.
This machine just switched off.
Okay. All right. We'll get back to the Cardinal in the course of the conversation. He's still there, but we'll rectify that.
If I heard correctly.
Okay. I understand he can hear us now.
Please go ahead. That was what I was asking. How do you think that is going to trickle down to the states?
This system.
Oh, it seems to be
Cardinal, the question was how this, what has been achieved in the presidential can trickle down. Okay, we'll get back to the Cardinal. We're talking about the processes here. Yes, that question to the Cardinal, how would it trickle down to the states? The processes here, the politicians, the electorate, how would all of this tidy up?
The point I was making, and which I will continue to emphasize to include what you have just raised now, is that we all know we had those primordial problems, but we need to rise above that. That's one of the psychology of camping. Scout in those days was designed to encourage, people coming together in a communal setting who didn't know themselves, but who worked towards a goal in spite of all their differences. So that if there was water, the person who had access to water and who owned the other one who owned the bucket or pail, as some people want to call it, then the other one will own the cups that will be used in drinking. The other one will have the food, custody of the food. You can't operate without the other. And that's how nature has made it. God has made it possible that we come from different backgrounds and we come to table with these backgrounds to conduce into something that will encourage our humanity. But in this climb, because some people feel empty, they want to play on those negative primordial. The man who has cancer knows that he has it, but he still manages to laugh when there is a discussion. He goes beyond the pain. I don't know whether he can. So we must go beyond all those primordial cleavages and deliver on development. Because when we have enough for everybody, in a family where you have only one man, big man, that man must be the cause of the pains of others. Even if he's been giving money to everybody, they say, don't buy my own luck. Let God give me my opportunity to also give you, instead of showing appreciation. But if everybody is making money and they come home on a festive period, it is all happiness and happiness and happiness. That is how the world, God has made this world. Everybody should have the opportunity to express himself. And that's why he has deposited in each and every one of us one talent or the other. So let us look for that. This country has wasted talent on those primordial cleavages. People who are supposed to lift this country to the moon are banished. Some of them are even killed on some of these ethnic considerations or religious considerations. We cannot continue this way. This is an opportunity. Let me tell you, the change mantra, the political party that came to the center did not initiate the change. It only drove the process because there seemed to be a groundswell of desire that things should change. The way things were done in this country should change. Okay. And if it was by changing the government, so be it.
Well, we understand that the Cardinal is back.
Very well.
Cardinal Onayeikan, if you can hear me, I was wondering how the peace process that was, achieved at the center, how it's going to trickle down to the state. Because some people felt that you were effective at the national level, dealing with very few players and dealing at that level. But getting down to the states, it gets a bit more difficult. Do you agree?
Yes. Thanks be to God, much has happened at the local levels, because I do know that many good Nigerians have tried to do exactly what we have done on the national level. I know, for example, in Benue State, effort has been made to bring together the key political actors. My brother Bishop down in Port Harcourt has been working with others to do the same. And they even arrived at a peace accord signed by the chief actors on the ground. How much effect all this will have, we shall see today. In the discussions, you have often